Welcome to the Infinity Fitness Short Burst Workout Intermediate Ab Session. And today I'm going to show you 4 exercises in a circuit fashion that are a surefire way to improve your abdominal function and also your look. Now, of course, you've got to lower your body fat percentage, but if we properly stimulate the abdominal muscles, they're going to show much better. So if you're doing for that 6-pack or the 8-pack, what have you, getting ready for a show or just the beach, you've got to train your abdominal just like any other muscle. There must be some methods of madness. You've got to include the proper stimulation, sets, reps, tempo, all of these strategies, and also provide the proper rest. So I would suggest that you watch the introductory short burst workout video for an overall general concept of what we're trying to do here with the circuit. But quite simply, I'm going to show you these 4 exercises, keep them in the same order, and what you're wanting to do is minimize rest in between. You want to accomplish between 40 and 50 reps per workout, and that'll take anywhere from 5 to 6 sets. The number of sets obviously is going to dictate how many reps per set as well. So do what you're comfortable with. Make sure that you emphasize the quality and the execution of the exercises. You're much better off getting them right than adding extra reps. There's no basis or benefit in doing that, of doing more of the wrong things. So take a good look at these exercises. If you have questions, email me and focus very carefully on the finer points that I'm going to emphasize as I'm talking through the video clips. I'm going to demonstrate the high-to-low wood chop, a fantastic oblique movement. Obliques are probably the most common area of neglect with most people's ab training. But these twisting type movements, allowing a lot of range of motion, are fantastic for function, for athletics, and also ab development. If you notice that people with really a great set of abs, they're always going to have a lot of good definition in the areas up here around the rib cage, and almost that appearance creates that V taper that most people are looking for. So I want you to notice the position of my feet here. The foot closest to the pulley is going to be a little bit ahead of the back foot, and that allows for a greater range of motion in terms of the twisting. So what you want to do is make sure that your eye has a specific point of focus when they start as well as when they finish. I suggest starting by looking at the high pulley here and just going through slow motion. We're going to initiate the movement with the abs, twisting down, and then I'm looking at the floor. And then I'm going to resist the weight as it goes up. I don't want to let it slam down. I'm going to get a lot of benefit out of the eccentric part of this motion. That's probably one of the more common areas I see as a mistake in gyms across the country, is there's no eccentric or negative loading to ab movements, and you're missing out on a lot of benefit there. So again, I'm initiating from the abs, I'm looking at the high pulley, I'm coming down explosively, and notice how my left knee here is bent. And as I come up, it's going to be straight. So my end point here, I'm trying to get some bending in the knees. So I'm looking at the floor, and that exaggerates my range of motion in terms of how much I am able to turn the torso, and my shoulders are also facing the floor. So again, having those good points of emphasis with the eye is extremely important. And now I'll do a few reps at what I would consider a normal speed. I'm going to demonstrate a hanging knee raise. But before we go to that, remember for the high-to-low wood chop that you have to do the number of reps for each side, so right and left. I failed to point that out. So for the hanging knee raise, what we want to do is get our head on level here to the horizon, looking forward. And I like to do this in somewhat of a static pull-up position, pulling myself to the top. I find that most comfortable. There are some devices that you can hang from, but usually the straight arm position, I find that your feet will hit the ground, and also there's some other instability. So again, what you want to do here is essentially a neutral grip pull-up. Put yourself in a position, and what we'll start with is trying to do a bent leg hanging knee raise. Trying to pull the knees all the way into the chest. And lower. Now remember, you want to bring the knees into the chest almost like a curling type motion, and try and have a 1-second pause from the top. And you'll notice there's a lot of shaking during this exercise, and it has a lot to do with the challenge it has in the nervous system and also balance. So don't let that scare you, but remember, we want to minimize momentum so there's no swinging. Here is a standing cable plunge, and I'm going to demonstrate this in quite a bit of different fashion than probably what you've seen before. We want to emphasize both range of motion and a lot of eccentric loading, which means you don't just let it slam up to the top. And to get a full range of motion, you want to bring your elbow down to the knee. So probably the hardest thing about this exercise is getting into good position. And what you want to do is adopt a forward lean and then have the rope pulled tightly over the traps here so that you can get into good position. And maintain some bend in the knees throughout the exercise. There's no reason to make them straight. And remember, you want to control the weight throughout. This is an exercise where you can increase the loading quite a bit, but do not sacrifice form to do so. So, get in position, what I like to do is lean forward, and then somewhat brace my feet towards the outside of the pulley. If it has legs, if not, that's okay as well. And then I come pretty straight here. I want to get some bend in the knees. Again, my target is to bring the elbow down to the knee. Coming up slow and deliberately, all the way to the top, keeping some bend in the knees. Bring the elbow down to the kneecap, flexing my abs as they go down. And when I come up to the top, I need to be very careful that I do not slam the weight back. When I get to the top position, what I suggest doing is taking one foot back, then the other, get closer to the pulley so that I can carefully let the weight go down and relieve myself from the exercise. So remember, full range of motion, control the eccentric, and you're going to get a lot out of this exercise for ab development. I'm going to demonstrate a loaded back extension. The back extension exercise hasn't really changed much for many years, but improving the loading on it can make it a more effective exercise for you if you emphasize the right form. So what I suggest doing is getting into your comfortable position in terms of the length of the setting, and then reaching for a plate on the bottom of the floor, and then placing it behind the head, but do not let it flex your neck. That's going to put unnecessary pressure on your spine. So come to the top, make sure that your head is in a neutral position, or what most people would consider a normal position. This would be abnormal, this would be another abnormal position you do not want. So just straight ahead in a neutral position. Then I comfortably place the plate here. I do not let the plate push on my head. I want to support it with my hands. And I come down here for a full range of motion, and then come up to the top. And what I want to do here is essentially squeeze my shoulder blades, keep my head in a good position, also going to challenge some postural aspects, and then come down, coming up again, emphasizing a contraction in the lower back muscle. Up again, good contraction, all the way through the lower and upper back. And down.